And we're back with season 23, week 4, round 3. We're 1-1. We're up against OG Diamond Dave. I already went. You can see I dropped on attack, although it's kind of insane to me how this attack got dropped. I've never seen this before, and it actually happened twice, except the second time, luckily, it didn't matter. But yeah, this should have been a pretty clean one-shot across the board, and I hit whatever this was. So hopefully that doesn't cost me the round. If it does, it's going to be really frustrating. But I know I have to tell myself that RNG is part of the game. It's just a little crazy what happened today. So you'll see when we get there. So otherwise, Diamond Dave has a 4 Diamond Annihilus and pulled him to offense, which I was kind of surprised to see because I swapped my Annihilus to defense for this round just to kind of switch up my defense and try a couple of new things, and also because I just don't have a clean one shot for a 4 Diamond Annihilus. So you know, if I'm 2-tapping it with my own Annihilus, I might as well just try using Daring Warriors, but I didn't get the chance. So still pretty spicy defense here. We've got Symbiote 6 with Professor X. We've got Phoenix Force with 5 Diamond Executioner and Phantom Rider. We've got New Mutants with Quazar, so people have picked up on the weirdness with this one, but we got around it. Then we have New Mutants Mephisto. This is where I dropped an attack, believe it or not, and you're going to see what happened. It's crazy. A bit of a random hodgepodge team here. I don't know why. I mean, normally this is an easy Fantastic Four, but they're kind of used here, so I can see the logic of not bringing Emma here, which is pretty cool. But otherwise, this is not a very scary comp with the tools that I had available to me and with the tools I assume most people have available. So interesting one. Maestro, you know, still doesn't really do anything. But anyway, you'll see the replay. And then finally, Immortal Weapon, Super Skrull. So yeah, let's get into the attacks. So room number 1, we did this last time. The only difference is I tried with Human Torch this time instead of Mr. Fantastic. Not a good idea. Well, not a good idea, but this guy is just way too weak, and you'll see why. He's old stat. He's only 3 diamonds. I'm not going to G21 him at this point. But I have to bring him to stop the speed stat on this side, and the whole concept here is, just to go over it real quick, is Fantastic Four stop the speed stat, Professor X stops the speed bar because Quicksilver gives speed bar to folks. He also stops the assists because without him you're going to have darkness on someone and you're going to be getting double mind controlled every turn, so you kind of need to bring him. And then Breaker is here to, at the very least, kill Professor X, but also help rebalance the team before you get hit with more attacks. So, also my ISO setup is, let's go over it from the start. So, Breaker is a striker, Torch is a skirmisher, Franklin is a skirmisher, Invisible Wound is a skirmisher, and then Professor X is a striker as well. That's because I wanted to play with where the mind control damage is going, and also the fact that Venom is here. I'm not going to get Raider crits anywhere. And Skirmisher is actually more baseline damage than Raider without crits. So I figured I'd do that. It also helps you. I mean, I guess you could technically get the Raider ISO procs because there's like a 50% chance to get those little ones, but I'd rather control how much damage I'm doing over here because this fight is make or break based on Professor X's special and where everyone's health threshold is. So Quicksilver goes. Alright, see you later, Human Torch. So yeah, see Franklin here, mind controls Breaker, who can take a hit. If he goes on to anyone else here, like you can see, either one of these would die basically to Franklin's basic. So it's really important that your Breaker takes the mind control here. And the ice, you'll have to play with ISOs to get that to work. Depends on the size of all your characters. Then Skirmisher on Franklin, just to be able to get vulnerables onto Professor X for Breaker to hit into. Also, because Human Torch died, I don't get to strip any of these immunities off, which doesn't matter too much because I get to do that now, but just a little side effect of him dying. I clump everyone together on Null, and I give him 2 vulnerables from Skirmisher on what's her face? So, as you can see, Breaker ate 2 mind controls from these 2 people and, survived basically, which is what he needs to do. And then we do a special onto Professor X. Boop, boop. And he's dead. So at the very least, cleanup should be easier at this point. Now, the rest of this is Professor X needs to not die, and then you have to special carefully with him. Because if you push anyone below 50%, what is it? Riot's going to cleanse them, and you're going to lose all the control that you have on people. So, like, I want to keep this ability block on these 2 folks. So, the RNG here is really where does Riot target? Because I think if he targets on my Professor X here, I just lose, because he's going to chain around, and the ISO will kill me. So, you can see here what happens. Boop, boop, boop. He went back and forth twice. Hit my Professor X once. The ISO there would have killed him. So this is a very spooky fight, because if your Professor X dies here, you've kind of lost the attack. If he survives, you can probably make it through, which is what happens here. So here I intentionally picked the highest health target, because I want them all to get debuffed, but I don't want to push this person below 50%. So we do this on Quicksilver, who is very healthy and high stat. Boop. So, he took a little bit of damage, but not a lot, so, everything's fine now. So, because of those blinds, he's gonna miss. Same thing with how you target Cyclops. Honestly, just doing his basic is the safest thing here, but I figured I had the room to play with. Now, Venom's gonna do a basic, but he's gonna miss because of the ability block that was given to him by Breaker, I think. He would ultimate otherwise if he was positioned different, but he would be blinded, so that's not unavoidable. So either way, same thing. And then I looped back to Professor X really quickly because of all the turns being taken and the speed of everyone. So now we do this. I focused on Null, and that's it. And this guy's also blind now. His basic is also going to miss. So yeah, assuming your Professor X survives with this attack, you are basically fine. It's just finessing all the health thresholds and honestly surviving Riot. Like, that was a 1 diamond Riot. If he had chained differently, not differently, if he was slightly bigger, I think even the chains with no ISO may have killed me. So I think if I do this again, I'll put Human Torch next to Professor X, which guarantees that there's an empty spot next to him. So the only way he dies is if I hit the I guess it's 25% chance for him to go directly in here. Otherwise, he'll chain around to everyone else. But I think as long as Professor X survives, he can kind of solo everyone else. But yeah, not a safe attack at all, but is fairly consistent if you play it properly. It's just a lot of finessing your ISOs, looking at the ISOs of the other team and how big they are and what your team can take. It's a very stressful attack, but we pulled it off, so let's just move on. Alright, so stage 2. Since I used Professor X in stage 1, I don't have him for this room, but also this would be kind of tricky to figure out because Executioner here is a big problem. Like, even if I can get most of my team to survive the opener, because there are ways of kind of doing that, then I would be left open for Magneto to just use his ultimate anywhere, because Executioner ultimate probably kills the pre-taunt, maybe. I guess you could use Gwen. Like, there's a version of this where you can use like Professor X, Jeff, Gwen, Nightcrawler to give dodges to Professor X, and then something else that could probably take the Executioner hit that would survive, maybe, because he's going to get hit like a truck. Anyway, yeah, sorry, I was just thinking about that because maybe I could use Professor X here and done something else. Like, I could have shuffled my whole offense around, but anyway, what I decided to do here was this instead. And from an efficiency perspective, got some, bad RNG, as is tradition apparently these days. So this could have been more efficient, but Storm got hit by a lot of things. So Storm is here and as a skirmisher to stun this guy so he never takes a turn. So we do this. Now, I kind of assumed she will basically die anyway because she's next to Magneto, but there was a world where she would have survived and she would have been fine, but bad targeting. But you'll see what happens. So Magneto goes, does his ultimate, hurts quite a lot. my Storm is, I got a really lucky 5 diamond and I G21 her a while ago for an attack that failed. So she is actually beefier than usual. It's not going to show the full thing. Where is she? So she has 26 baseline, so she's, I don't know, like 30-ish million, I guess, with boost and everything. But you can see just that one attack just took her down to 15%, and she's got bleeds. Luckily, there's a death proof here, so she won't die, but you know, since she survived, I was hoping I could basically keep her in the game. So what happens then is you just all in on Omega Red. And Mephisto is here because he can do that 50% perma damage, and also you don't have to worry about resurrection shenanigans with Phoenix, and also this guy will die instead of rezzing. Then you do Blastar Special because that does percent damage. Usually he dies here, but he did not, barely surviving. But it's fine because Thunderstrike Special is 20% max HP damage, so you can just clip him and he'll die when he's that low. And now it's just a matter of cleaning everything else up as usual. So here's the bad targeting. So everyone else getting hit other than Storm is really healthy, has barrier. You know, Thunderstrike is going to heal them back, but we have one attack here, which doesn't do a ton of damage, kind of mostly eats into barrier. But then Phoenix also uses her ultimate, strips all my buffs away, including the death proof. Like that was the one target she needed to not hit. Anyone else would have just been fine. Anyway, but then I do Gwen Special, and unfortunately, this asshole dodged it, so he didn't die. So she gets to come back and do this, which kills Storm through a death proof because... Oh, can I even look at this? Dark Phoenix? Yeah, steal 20% health from all enemies. Like, and like health steals kind of always ignore death proof. I think it says it as well. Like ignores death proof and passives the trigger. Yeah. So yeah, the fact that Phoenix hit her and then she died without him dying basically caused her to die. So I lost a little bit of efficiency. Then we hit him. Luckily, he didn't dodge that, so he died. And then I just didn't want to pause here, so I took a couple of extra turns, unfortunately. So I went into that. Maybe I should have done the Mephisto Special there, not too sure. And then the end. So yeah, never really got risky, was in full control, just a little RNG with losing Storm, but I guess just to be honest, I was expecting to lose her anyway. It's just unfortunate that I couldn't keep her alive after she unexpectedly survived. So that's fine. Let's move on to stage 3. So moving on to stage 3. So yeah, people have figured out that Quazar can be a wrinkle for Dread specifically. I guess might mess with other teams as well, to be honest, but definitely Dread because of how the mechanics work. So for those that did not watch the round 1 video, what happens here is Storm is going to put Exposed on everyone, and then Quazar has this fun thing in his passive that not a lot of people have taken advantage of. I think this is the second time I see someone intentionally take advantage of this, which is cool. But when an enemy with Exposed gains a positive effect, attack the enemy for 300% piercing, steal 5% health, and reduce speed bar by 50%. And he's got Drain, so he's also healing up. So this is pretty spicy. And what happens here is Scorpion is basically the problem. If you have him assisting along the way, his basic gives out 2 regeneration and 2 defense up. And what happens here is that this counts as 2 separate buff applications. So for example, if this said apply 2 regeneration and 2 defense up to all allies, then you would get pinged once for this action, even though it's 2 buffs. But because it's 2 separate actions, it counts as 2 pings from Quazar. So everyone gets 2 buffs, and everyone gets 2 pings from Quazar on top of that. So so you basically have to kind of just all in this guy, honestly, to stop that, because the rest of the X-Men aren't really going to kill you, but he could, and this is a 5 diamond Quazar, so pretty spooky. So what I did was, you might have noticed this, I made my Scorpion a striker, so he's not assisting on purpose. And also because Angel is here, there's no vulnerables being put out until he's done with his vitality. So I'm not going to get pinged to death. Now some of my characters will get buffs and will get the occasional ping. I think Electro gets, what is it, gains speed up. Yeah, so the speed up is gonna get her pinged at the very least. But yeah, so oh, and there's one more thing that's a little bit weird. So I brought Odin here on purpose because I wasn't sure how this is gonna work. But Scorpion has this thing in his passive where on turn and any Dread ally's turn, clear 4 negative effects on that turn and heal for an additional 50% of the character's turn. Sure. This appears to be happening on any turn, from what I can tell. And because it's going to happen very quickly here, but Storm is going to go. She's going to put, what is it? I keep leaving this panel and then I need it again. She's going to put, apply slow to everyone and then 2 stuns. You're going to see the slow will immediately disappear, although that might be something else actually. Yeah, when this character agent gains slow, flips slow on the ally to speed up. Interesting. So it might be this happening instead of a cleanse. But anyway, my whole point is you're going to see the stun will evaporate off of Scorpion. And that happens a couple of times during this fight. We'll see it later on as well. So you can see here, Odin's going to shake it off because it's part of his mechanic. And then he also shakes it off. So, but he didn't do a heal. So there's something weird going on with him. My thought here was I was just going to Odin special to cleanse everyone. But since he shook it off, I don't need to do that. Now we have a Quazar ultimate. Slightly painful, but you know, we heal it all up because of how he properly works. So because I don't need to special anymore, I can just basic here just to get off the taunt. And you'll see here now we get some assists. Boop, boop. She got death proofs from somewhere, so that also gave her a ping. Actually, why didn't... Not everyone got pinged. Interesting. Anyway, at this point, I just want to all-in Quazar. I do not want him alive. The only way I lose this is if those pings get me. So, I do special on him. Just because it's more damage. I think he dies here. Yep. So now I'm in the clear, basically. I'm not going to die. So at this point, it's just a matter of targeting. I figured maybe I can kill this guy with an assist train because he's going to go next. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Then Morph is going to special into this guy, but he's going to do reduced damage. But I've also got death proofs. Then, because he's now in stealth, unfortunately, because of Jubilee, I go into Storm instead. Unfortunately, same thing happens there. So here's the other thing. So Jubilee, no, I want to 1x this. Jubilee is going to stun Breaker and put Divas out. And then, yeah, it all got cleansed immediately, but no heal. There's maybe the heal doesn't work because of this stun. So I think what is happening here is, this is my theory at least. So the way this is meant to work is that on any of his turn or ally's turn, there's meant to be a heal. Now if you also satisfy this, then it's going to be a heal plus a cleanse and a bigger heal. But I think because he's stunned, the heal portion doesn't proc, but the cleanse does. But the cleanse is happening on any turn, not just his turn or ally turn or dread ally turn, I guess. So yeah, there's some weirdness with how he works. So he's currently, I'd say, better, but definitely a bit of a quirk. So I guess technically you would need Rhino if he was working correctly. But anyway, at this point, because Angel's vitality is gone, I just focus him because he's annoying. I don't want him healing anyone up. Do some AoE here. Get out of here, Jubilee. Crit kills her. And I think 2 more turns, or 1 more turn? 1 more turn. And that's it. So yeah, I'll report the Dread thing just because it's curious. I mean, he's better this way. I hope they keep him this way. Because otherwise, you have to bring Rhino, or Breaker, or Odin in this case. So yeah, I was never gonna lose this, so it's not like there's bug abuse going on or anything here, because Odin would have just cleansed it anyway, and then I would have had immunity um, from Odin's special to avoid the stun from Jubilee anyway, but also they would have died to assist anyway. So anyway, we're gonna move on, and we'll see what they do about this. So here we are, stage 4 with the insane RNG. So I've never had this happen before, and I've done this attack many times because I've always had a cursed on defense, so I've always defaulted to this attack over here. So what happens is my yo-yo, for whatever reason, obliterates this Mephisto, and he gets a death proof, so I can't reset off of him. And nobody else got hit as hard, and they all like have part of their barrier. Magic is probably the weakest one here, and she didn't get hit. Let's see, Magic, yeah. So she's the one that I would normally reset off of, but my 4 Diamond Daemon goes and doesn't reset off of anyone. Cannonball almost did. So I just lose here, basically. I try to play it out, but nobody dies. They're too healthy. So this is pretty crazy. I was like, what the hell happened with Mephisto there? How did he take so much damage? And then I just run it back, and let's see what happens now. This is also insane to me. Yo-Yo goes, kills Mephisto. I've never had Yo-Yo hit this hard. I don't understand what happened. Luckily this time we got Magic low, also hit Warlock harder, I guess, so there's just Yo-Yo RNG with the amount of crits, and then I just reset off of those two just fine. So I got double bad RNG on the first attack. Not only did I push Mephisto to death proof, but also didn't hit Magic or Warlock hard enough, and so I didn't reset. So I'm gonna be pretty annoyed if this cost me the win, because I've never had this happen before, and then I had something crazy happen, 2 turns in a row. We'll see. Again, RNG happens. It's just kind of frustrating when the hard rooms go to plan and then the easy room decides to do something weird. So anyway, stage 5 coming up. So stage 5, this is where I used my Daring Warriors instead of, what is it? Instead of against an Annihilus, I guess. Yeah, I was a little spooked about Daring Warriors here as well. I guess I could have just done that in hindsight. I guess it doesn't really matter. Maybe a little bit of efficiency, because I don't think this guy hurts that bad. But then I don't like him hitting into my team either, because I've seen him one-shot team members. So I got a little paranoid about Daring Warriors because I couldn't bring a pre-taunt. If I could bring a pre-taunt here, it wouldn't matter. Actually, Gwen would have been a good pre-taunt here because she wouldn't have died. So yeah, maybe in hindsight this should have been Gwen Daring Warriors. It wouldn't have changed this room or this room, so I guess it doesn't really matter. And then I could have just Mephisto blown him up. So anyway, yeah, I could have, sorry, just thinking through this, I could have rejiggered things around. Maybe it would have been a little bit more efficient, but we'll never know. So I was a little bit afraid of this here because Riot hurts like hell, targets a controller, and also his attack cannot be blocked either. So like he gains offense up, which, let's look at his stats. He's got 3.4 million damage, which is a lot. But yeah, he gains offense up on top of that, so he'll have even more damage. We'll check that in a sec. Stuns Thrasher, which that part doesn't matter, but also does a shit ton of damage. So I was a little worried, is this guy gonna die? Because Blue Marvel Ultimate is also unblockable. But I have a ton of barrier, so we take this one pretty well. Not a big deal. So we're there, and then Toxin goes. And also, see, the Phantom ISO happened again. Targets Thrasher, hits the ISO on whoever is next. That is crazy. It's the second time this happens, and since the vulnerable left now, I can confirm it is an ISO hit. So that's the bug that killed me not yesterday, on round 1. happening again. So they need to figure this out because that's pretty ridiculous. But anyway, you know, he's at half health, so I guess no big risk there. He's fine, and then Eclipse will undo all of that. And I mean, at this point, this fight is over, so I'm just gonna go through it quickly. Maestro does not do damage. I mean, he does damage, but he's not gonna really threaten anyone at this point. Boop. Do that. There's, you know, here I lose some efficiency because of Blue Marvel pings, mostly because he's doing permanent damage to my team that I'm not going to be able to heal. So you can see there, boop. Then we go here. So now Speedball's going to get pinged twice. And then Jessica Jones with the assist, boop. So yeah, this was honestly very safe. Maybe a little overkill, I guess, but anyway, let's move on to the last room. And finally, we just overkilled the shit out of this room today instead of messing around with Songbird like in round 1. Didn't bring Oath, brought in Jeff because he was spare. So even though I'm pretty turtled up, I felt like I was kind of spoiled for choice, but this is also kind of a free room, honestly. I'm just surprised I had Jeff left over, but this would have been Oath otherwise. So anyway, Super Scroll goes, gives my Old Man Logan speed bar and my Dokken speed bar. Then Dokken goes, does bad things to all of them, which is great. Super Scroll bleeds out, so that's usually what happens. Then Old Man Logan, I always stun this guy because I don't want him to heal anyone by mistake, or cleanse all of these bleeds. Then my Dokken, why does Dokken go faster this time? I'm so confused. Last time, Dokken did not go before the enemy team. Maybe one of the slows got resisted on something. I don't know. Anyway, we rewind them with Dokken, so they're never going to go at this point. Jeff also does this. Apocalypse does this. Normally this would be Ares, I guess, but Apocalypse is even better because it's more damage. I just killed this guy because I know she's going to take her turn before anyone else and she's going to bleed out. So then we just make sure everyone dies and she takes her turn and poof. Either way, she was going to lose from the bleeds, but also the room rule took away 50% health. So yeah, fairly interesting defense. Kind of surprised a 4-diamond Annihilus is not on defense because I would expect that would win most matches for Dave, but maybe he just wants to have some fun on offense. I don't know. But yeah, let's see if that crazy RNG in room 4 costs me the win. Alright, so we're back. Looks like Dave did not clear one of my rooms, but also he messaged me to let me know that after he was done trying to clear my Annihilus, he realized that he didn't have Annihilus on defense and completely missed that fact. So it was not intentional that his 4-diamond Annihilus was on defense, and also by the time he realized he had him on offense, it was the match was already over. So I don't know if Dave is gonna finish his attacks. Would be good so I can get some defensive data, but otherwise this is a win. We're gonna go 2-1 for this week, and we'll see if Gilgamesh does anything to change the meta next week. So see you then.